Good afternoon, thoroughbred horse racing fans. Happy Labor Day Monday to you here on this September the 6th, 2021, closing day at Saratoga, closing day at Del Mar. So I will offer you a late pick five at Del Mar, where the track is always fast and the turf course is always firm. I'll get to that little pun or caveat I just said when I get into the main broadcast on the show. But this is my opening. Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket, and stay tuned for the late pick five at Del Mar today.
Welcome to Thoroughbred Ticket. We're playing the exotics like trifectas, superfectas. The pick 3, 4, 5, and 6 will become that much easier. Rushing to handicap multiple races? Well, your host will save you a bundle of time. And now here he is, the self-proclaimed expert handicapper, Mr. Kenneth Moultrie.
Hello, racing fans. This is Kenneth Moultrie of Thoroughbred Ticket. Welcome to my show here on Labor Day. As I said in the opening, closing day at Saratoga, closing day at Del Mar. And this morning, I always try to do a pick five at Saratoga and Del Mar based upon a fast and firm type day. And I was so eager to do the pick five, a late pick five at Saratoga when I woke up early this morning here in California and I looked at some video of Saratoga. It looked fast and firm. It looked like, I looked at the weather report. It looked like the rain was going to hold off. Matter of fact, it just called for a cloudy, partly cloudy day, temperatures in the 70s. So I'm like, okay, finally on Labor Day at Saratoga, which in the last 7 to 10 years, it's for some reason always been sloppy. So I'm thinking like we're going to get a nice Labor Day. There's the scratches were minimal this morning at Saratoga. And I looked in and I went in for a good hour and a half. And then I went on and did like an hour show of a pick five and a grand slam, and looked on the television screen as the horses were going into the gate, and all of a sudden the track is sloppy and the turf course is yielding, and I'm like, typical Saratoga. Just got back from Saratoga myself, spending my 24th Travers weekend there, where it actually rained on Travers Day, but it did not affect the main track or the course that day. But like I do know, and you all know about Saratoga, it does that. But good old Del Mar, always fast and firm. So I said, I bet you if I go ahead and do a late pick five here at Del Mar, I know when I'm going to get here. Minimal scratches and a fast main track and a firm turf course. So let me start off by saying, full disclosure, I've done since this particular summer, Saratoga and Del Mar, I've done maybe 6 or 7 shows, and I always do a pick five, whether it's at Del Mar or Saratoga, and I've not given out a winning pick five. However, as I always do, and I always suggest that I do play pick threes within my pick fives, and I also play doubles within my pick five. And of course, I've had some nice hits that have kept me not only above water, but into a comfortable position. So I always suggest that. I always try to play forward instead of backwards, ladies and gentlemen. And what I mean by that is that I'm not going to rely on just a pick five. I'm not trying to, I'm giving the pick five on my show because I do want to spread out over the maximum amount of races. Now, I do not particularly like to do pick sixes because the cost for the ticket can become astronomical, and then you're ending up putting 5 and 6 horses in a race, and I don't want to do that. I generally don't put any more than 4 horses in a particular race, depending on the size of the race. If the race is like 7 or 8 runners, I'm usually putting 2 selections in there, so I'm not going overboard. But like I said, I give out a pick five, and then like I say, I do hope that you do play doubles, even exactas with the horizontal horses I'm using in a particular sequence, doubles, pick threes, maybe an occasional pick 4, but pick 5 is the ultimate, which I will give out. Like I said, I've not given out a winning one this particular season, but like I said, within that sequence, do play a pick 3, some doubles, exactas, and maybe even a pick 4. So the late pick five today at Del Mar is going to cover races 6 through 10. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a $54 play, which is 3 by 2 by 3 by 2 by 3. So let's go ahead and start out with the sixth race. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an optional claiming $40,000 per 72,000. And it's going to be for fillies and mares 3 and up. And I'm using 3 runners in this particular race. Let's start out with the 6 AG Indy. Nice play on AP Indy. This is a Doug O'Neill trained horse. Now, Doug O'Neill has 2 runners in this race, and I actually like them both. I'll get to his second runner after this one. But Doug O'Neill's had an unusual slow meet at Del Mar. I remember on my Del Mar preview show for this season, I predicted that he would win the trainer's title, but I was way off. He's only at 9% with only 11 or 12 victories. But, that's different circumstances. But, like I say, every individual horse and every particular individual circumstance is different. And I'm banking on AG Indy, who had 1 run at the meet at the same distance, ended up winning the race with a 79 buyer. With Umberto Rispoli on board. Rispoli rides back today. And the 79 buyer puts this filly right at the top of any other runner in the field. Now, the $50,000 allowance price is not really going to make a difference. You do have some horses in here who are dropping out of some minor stakes, but they were on the dirt. So I think this 4-year-old filly by Take Charge Indy is going to come right back and run a big race in today's 6 at Del Mar. As I said, the other Doug O'Neill trained filly in this race is the 7 DC or Dicey Delight. And this is the Irish bred filly. And Abel Cedillo is going to ride. Now, this filly was beaten favorite last time to AG Indy. So coming out of the exact same race, which I am a big proponent of. I love to identify productive races inside a particular race. And I do look at this 5 furlong race on August 19 here at Del Mar as a productive race where Dice Delight was the beaten favorite. Now, Flavian Pratt had her that day, and he jumped ship, and Abel Cedillo is going to ride. But I'm not going to play the jockey musical chairs game here. I am going to stick with this runner. I like the fact that she was beaten favorite and just kind of lacked some room according to the comments. I did watch the race earlier this morning where she did get blocked a little bit and kind of stopped her momentum as she's trying to make a run home. So I'm looking for Dice Delight to be right there. Both Doug O'Neill horses I figured to run big in this particular race. The outside horse and the final horse I'm using in this sequence is the 10 Nupi Lamboda. And she's trained by Carla Gaines, and Juan Hernandez is going to ride. And this filly has the best last race buyer at this particular distance coming out of her last race. This is her 3rd run at Del Mar this season. Looking for her first win that has a 3rd and then just missed by 3/4 of a length in the last. Like I say, Juan Hernandez is going to ride back. The outside post coming from the rail from last time going to the outside post is going to give Juan Hernandez some options here. And I think the pace is going to be reasonable enough. 5 furlongs is a considerably shorter race than 6 furlongs on the grass or even 5.5. And so Juan's going to have to make some decisions quick. Hopefully he gets out of the gate, doesn't break out toward the village upstate or up the hill in Del Mar, and that he breaks right on stride, sits somewhere about 4th or 5th, and then I look for a big effort for this filly by City Zip to pounce home in the 6th race. So 6, 7, 10 in the 6th race, the first leg of the late pick 5 at Del Mar. In race 7, there are 2 program scratches. Originally had 8. The morning line favorite, the 1 leading score is out, as well as the 5 final Jeopardy. So the 1 leading score and the 5 final Jeopardy are out. That leaves a field of 6. They're going a flat mile on the main track, optional claiming. Non-winners of 1 per thousand, and I'm going with two runners in here. Let's start with the horse that has now inherited the rail, and that's Direct Line. Peter Urton is training, and Umberto Rispoli is going to ride now. This gelding just aired by 9 lengths on this track, got a 91 buyer, and that is really, really big. I think that he's going to inherit the favoritism role based on that big win by open lengths with the good buyer. Since the last run, came back on August 28th and put down a nice 47-2 work for 4 furlongs, which was the sixth best of 76 horses who worked on that day at that distance. So Direct Line seems to be very, very sharp, and I figure that he is going to come back and get a nice little run, breaking forwardly from the rail position. The other horse and final horse I'm using in this sequence is the 3 Divine Armor. Now, John Sadler trains this runner, and Tiago Pereira is going to ride. Now, this colt came into a race here at Del Mar. This is going to be his 4th run at the track. Did win 2 back, so, there is some success on the track. But last race ran kind of a strange race, was distanced by a runaway winner, and Ginobili won that race, and Divine Armors finished 3rd by 11 lengths, finished 11 lengths behind Ginobili, who came back to win his last start. So that is a very productive race, and I think Divine Armor will be able to get the trip behind another runner in this race who I'm going to mention, but I am not going to use. And this is why I like Divine Armor, because I think this other runner I'm going to mention is going to be on the pace and maybe even in front. And Direct Line is going to have a direct line after this runner. And I think Divine Armor has a chance to pick up both of them. Let me mention this runner right now that I want to say that's going to be on the lead or near the lead, and I'm not going to use, and that's the 7 Laurel River. Now, Laurel River is trained by Bob Baffert. Flavian Pratt is going to ride, coming out of some sprints where they're very, very fast, and then on top of that has put up some really just working a hole in the wind at Del Mar, 6 furlongs in 1:11-2, a 6 furlongs in 1:11-1, and then a 59 flat, which was a bullet for that particular day. I think there's one way to go for this colt by Into Mischief, and that is to the lead based off not only the works, but coming out of those sprints. So another runner that's going to be, I think, going to pressure Laurel River is the 6 Butkus. The Chicago Bear linebacker is going to add blinkers today, and Richie Baltus is the trainer. So there's going to be some speed from Butkus and Laurel River, and I think that's going to set it up for my 2 runners, which is the 2 Direct Line and the 3 Divine Armor. Race 8 is a flat mile on the turf on the Jimmy Durante. It's the Del Mar Juvenile Turf. 9 are signed up, no scratches. This is a very strange race. I'm going to using 3 runners here, and there's some runners here that are making their first start in this country, and there are some runners that have had a race or 2 on the track, but their buyer numbers, their speed numbers are very, very low. So you have to kind of decipher which way are you going to go. Are you going to go by these horses coming from other countries who normally typically don't break well? They think like they need a race. And so you have horses here that have already run on the track. The numbers are low, but they're already accustomed to the surroundings, the track. And, they have a lot of other things going for them, if even it's not on the talent side. So I'm sticking with the 3 runners here. I'm not using the 2 runners who are probably going to get bet the most. And I'm going to err on the side of runners that have been at Del Mar and in that particular sense. So let's start off with the 3 Mogollon Rim. And this is a Calbred runner. And this gelding ran a flat mile here last time. And the number was very, very low, which you suspect for a 2-year-old state bred race. just missed by a length and a half with Tyler Bates. Flavien Prat is going to take over. So in many observers' mind, that is a upgrade in rider. Needless to say, Tim Yakteen is the trainer. Tim Yakteen is a capable turf trainer, somewhere around